That's where, you'll have some power on this thing. With the gap up in the market today, guys, it's going to suck a lot of the range out of some stocks, right? So we'll have to find the ones. There's two options when you have a big gap up like this, right? There's two options. At the open, you find the ones that haven't moved yet. Good morning. So you look for the ones that haven't moved yet, or the ones that are already spiking that are on your list. You're waiting for that first pullback to your EMAs, right? And then you could kind of take that thing for a shred. So always kind of go through and make sure that you're not chasing these bad boys when you get a big gap up in the market. But there's definitely a lot of different hot stocks out there. Like, keep GoDaddy on your list today, guys. You got a flat top breakout on this. It had a really, really nice trender here. So you had a $4 trender on this thing. I think that this thing probably has room down to 84, 85. I mean, GoDaddy's like the devil's juice, though. Like, we really should be shorting this just as proper Americans, teach these fuckers a lesson. When I had my hack going, I could barely get a hold of these guys. But that's in the past. I have forgiven, I think. Add Domo to the list, right? So Domo pulled back to 2 levels of support here, right? So you got this nice kind of rounding base. You finally cleared over the 9 EMA, and you're starting to like kind of break out of this. I don't know what they call these things, right? Some people call them flags. Some people call them wedgies. We just call them patterns for the most part, right? But in general, this thing's got some heat to it. It trades a little bit thin too, only 1 million shares. Only hit this thing on dips. Or like if you see like a consolidation, these kind of thinner stocks, mRNA does it too, where like if it just sits sideways, you'll just get this kind of MPC come out of nowhere, and that'll start the trend. Overall, it looks really good, though. You definitely want to... They're picking some of these up off the bottoms today, so you definitely can play all these. So Yeti is my favorite, mRNA, Lyft, GoDaddy, Domo. So those are the top ones. Rank them, right? The rest of these are kind of just more watch and sees. They're B minuses. They're not necessarily ready for my man love, the man juice. I'm not ready to give it to him just yet like that, but I think we got this. This WTW's crushed yesterday. The SSR will be on this thing, but if you get a spike up and this thing jams up, at least at the open into 19 or so, I'll start watching this one for potential rollover to go green to red. If you got a stock that's on SSR, don't chase it into the hole. Like if it kind of spikes down at the open, don't start badgering it with some market orders on the short side, because you won't get filled, number one, if the SSR is on it. So your orders will hang in queue, and then on any uptick they'll fill, and then you kind of get stuck in a spike, and you end up getting chopped out like that. So really be mindful of that. I know for some of you penny poppers, you maybe you want to watch this VTL. I won't be playing this at all. It looks like a turdzilla to me, but everything looks like a turd to me. Keep an eye on this one, though, if you like pennies. You may see this one if it starts to kind of curl back. Watch this one for an ORB. Definitely wait for like a bigger consolidation. When they come back like 30% pre-market like that, that creates a level of supply that's not necessarily easy. So definitely just be mindful of it. What's going on, man? Sweet. Disney. Man, I was hoping this thing would wait for me. So Disney, if you look at its weekly chart, guys, it is a multi-year breakout going from 2015, which is just monstrous, right? It's got a monster float on it. I mean, 1.3 billion shares, but it's still moving. I mean, you can't deny the range. This is one of the reasons, if you want to like ever wake up early and you trade pre-market, these are the kind of setups you want to do. That's something that's like liquid that can really move like that. Man, when a stock breaks out to all-time highs, it's very, very powerful, right? Think about how old this company is. It's 100 years old. If it's breaking out to all-time highs out of a multi-year consolidation, that's very, very powerful. Now, the issue is going to be the gap on this thing is going to be monstrous now due to the fact that it didn't want to wait for us pre-market. You're going to have to wait for a pullback on this. Because of the float on this, ideally, I get like some type of pullback at the open. It starts to round and, maybe around the VWAP area, and then it'll break higher. It could ORB, but I mean, basically, it's ORB, you know, so that's going to be a little bit, tricky. There's some other kind of offshoots today. There's some random little guys kind of moving. This QD is kind of ugly. I give this a B-. You know, it's coming up on some news on some share buyback. If you get hold over this 200 SMA, it may go, but I mean, the chart itself is more of a spike and fader, so I wouldn't anticipate really getting more than a one-day move out of this thing, but probably something to watch. And frankly, I'm not going to play this fun. Remember, guys, it's Friday. We don't want to trade no turds on Friday. If this was Thursday, we would trade it, but on Friday, we don't want to, right? We don't want to do any of that stuff on Fridays. We're not degenerates, so we'll keep it clean. Let's take a look at some of the tickers that you guys are watching. WM, I'm not sure on this one. What are you guys watching? Hey, Insurance, how you doing? Mr. YouTuber, what's up? Danny, how you doing? You know, Danny, make sure. Oh, the earnings are not for a while on SQ. The issue with this thing is just going to be like, is it going to be stuck here at the 200 SMA for months? You know, my issue is like when you swing trade something in a big consolidation like this. I mean, how long do you sit in the consolidation? Another month? Right? Like, I'd rather let this thing kind of bust loose and go. This gush is moving due to the buyout in APC, guys. You know, APC got bought out for monster premium. So you're getting this push in gush. I don't know if it will have a secondary push just due to the fact that it's moving based on one company's buyout, but it could. Henderson, where you been? What's going on? So that's the one thing, is watch and see if the trend sets. So like these type of, like, a lot of oil stocks you could see are showing up on the pre-market scan. What you want to be doing is, like, what I'll be doing personally is, like, I'm not going to clutter my watch list with them, but what I'll do is I'll keep my liquid gainer scan up just in the corner, like, while I'm trading. And if I see them still hanging out on it, like, I don't even need to look at the charts, but if they're still hanging out on the scan, I'll have them streaming. If they're still running, then at that point, you know, what I'll do is, you know, I'll put those on the list. But I don't want to just blow any time and just have a bunch of oil stocks which never trade that well. Have them on my list just to have them on my list, if you guys know what I mean, right? So just have your scans kind of streaming, and you should be good to go. Cool, Anthony, how you doing, brother? So, focus list, Yeti, repeat, mRNA for the bounce, lift, the 6250 is the key spot, right? 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, 4 tests. This would be the 5th test if you could get there. If it doesn't, then you're going to have to scalp back and forth in the range till it breaks out. You know what? And frankly, it may just go lower. If it doesn't, if a stock is really oversold, we got like a 5 stochastics on it, it still can't bounce, then it's really just the turdzilla. It's the turd of turds. Keep GoDaddy on your watch list too. You had a nice trender on it yesterday. And then this Domo looks okay. There was a whole host of just random IPOs yesterday that, you know, you could be in play, huh? So, like, there was PD, pager duty. I mean, that sounds pretty cool, right? Pagers are cool. There was Toughin. These are kind of 2 of them that I think we should be watching. The issue will just be, like, if they can break, right, previous day's highs, then I think that we'll have a chance on these. If they don't, then you just leave them alone, all right? So, these 2 IPOs, Toughin, PD, if they don't break previous day's highs, just leave them alone, and we should be good to go, all right? So, guys, it's Friday. You know what you got to do. Close the week strong. Try not to lose too much. Yesterday was a nice, easy day. Hopefully, we'll get a little continuation on yesterday. Flat days in the markets are the best days to trade. You know, days like yesterday, we're just kind of just chilling, and individual stocks are running are awesome. But these gap up days are tricky, so don't risk too much on a big gap up day like that. Let the stocks come back to you, or let them really set up in a powerful manner. You don't want to chase it up, all right? Be good. Take care. Make me proud.